Hey there, Eli coming at you again from the fish room of OSA Coventry, here today to show off one of my favorite schooling fish for a medium to larger sized community aquarium. These guys are great in planted aquariums or just a general community tank. And that is these beautiful rainbow fish behind me. These are neon dwarf rainbow fish, or Melanitania praecox, sometimes referred to as just praecox rainbow fish. But these are really underrated schooling fish, something that gets a good mid-sized body length to them. And they're a really strong presence in just about any aquarium that I've seen them in. These are one of the smaller rainbow fish that you can get, especially if you're considering that Melanitania genus. These guys max out at about 3, maybe 3.5 inches, whereas a lot of the other rainbow fish are gonna max out 5, maybe 6 inches, depending on the species. These guys stay a lot more manageable size, usually only hitting that 3.5 inch mark. So they're generally a little more appropriate for a smaller aquarium if you do want a larger bodied schooling fish. You can usually get away with them in maybe a 30, 40 gallon aquarium, but bigger is always better. And as a schooling fish, it's always most appropriate to add these in a small grouping. I tend to prefer adding pairs or at least a mix of male and female to the tank because you do get a little more interesting behavior out of the males this way. Oftentimes, if you keep less males and more females, the males actually try to show off for each other and for the females a little bit stronger. So oftentimes they'll develop darker blue sides to them, really vibrant red tips to the fins like you see already, and they kind of display a little bit for the females in the tank. So it's just cool to be able to see that behavior and to select for that brighter coloration and that more obvious presence in the aquarium. As with most of your rainbow fish species, males and females are able to tell apart. With these guys, they both tend to be on the prettier side, which is pretty nice. Some of your other rainbow fish species, the females are a little more gray or silver in appearance and don't have as much color as the males. But with the neon dwarf rainbows, the males can be told apart because they're a little bit bluer with a bright red fringe to the fins, with the females being just a little bit less blue, a little more toned back with more of a yellow or an orange to the fins. So they are both very impressive, beautiful, colorful fish, but they are discernible from each other pretty easily. Just like your other rainbow fish too, they are very peaceful schooling fish. They tend to get along with other rainbows, so there's something that you can kind of mix and match. I've seen really cool planted aquariums which have a smorgasbord of different types of rainbow fish, 2 or 3 of one type, 2 or 3 of another, and you get a really cool behavior out of all of these. They usually will stick together regardless of species, and you just get a really cool variety of color and shape to the aquarium in doing so. These can be mixed with both larger fish and smaller fish. If you were to keep these in with some smaller tetras, usually you're still okay to do so. They don't tend to bother the little stuff. You could also keep them with larger centerpiece fish, gouramis, angelfish, severums, a lot of other mildly aggressive fish, and sometimes even things like acaras, geophagus, and some of the things that have a little more attitude to them, and they tend to do just fine as a dither fish as well. So overall, neon dwarf or praecox rainbow fish, one of my personal favorite rainbows, a really nice deep-bodied, larger schooling fish that you can get away with in a medium to large size aquarium. Do very well in groups and add a really good splash of color and constant swimming action to the tank. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments section below if you have questions, maybe suggestions for future videos. And as always, keep it fishy.